This upcoming season, Jimmy G gives them clearly the best chance to win.
You'd have a point, Max Kellerman, if we could rely on him to be on the field, but we can't trust him because he's not the most durable individual in the world. As a matter of fact, to call him fragile would be a bit kind, and that's the reality of the situation. I'm not maligning him for that. Injuries are injuries. They happen, and we all understand that. But the bottom line is that's the situation with him. And so when I think about it from that perspective, and I think about a talent like Justin Fields, who just finished completing 70% of his passes and playing in a national championship game, who just finished, playing lights out against Trevor Lawrence in the national semifinal when he threw 6 touchdowns and 385 yards in a victory over the Clemson Tigers in the national semifinal in collegiate football, high-level collegiate football, the highest level of collegiate football, by the way. When the guy's got when he's got like 67 touchdowns and just 9 interceptions in his collegiate career, and he's coming into the National Football League, and we know that he's got wheels on him. This is an individual that brings a dynamic to the game of football that I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo has in him. And when you take that into account, along with a guy like Kyle Shanahan, who's supposed to be this quarterback guru, by the way, the decision is going to be his. We heard John Lynch talk about that, and I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. It's his decision. It's going to come down to Kyle Shanahan, who I call for at times Mr. Fourth Quarter, because in Super Bowls he had a 25-point lead and lost that, and he had a 10-point lead and lost that when he was the primary play caller for Atlanta and San Francisco, respectively, in Super Bowls against against Tom Brady not in both instances, in Tom Brady and then Patrick Mahomes. The bottom line is that there's some question marks about him as well, but he does know the quarterback position. He is the offensive play caller. Who knows if he's going to pick Justin Fields? All accounts are saying that may not happen, but I look at Justin Fields and being a dual threat. I'm looking at the game of football in the way that it has evolved, and the fact that you're a dual threat, you can run with the football, you have durability, you can make plays with your legs, not just your arms. Then I take into account the monsters coming out of the backfield, the Kittles at your tight end spot, the Deebo Samuels is one of your wideouts. And I say, excuse me, you know what? The best ability is availability. And Justin Fields, can I trust him to be more available than Jimmy Garoppolo, even though he hasn't played a single NFL game? At this point, yes, because Jimmy Garoppolo has proven to be a significantly fragile individual at the quarterback spot.
That's why drafting a quarterback's a good idea. Jimmy Garoppolo's excellent, but there's a higher level than Garoppolo. You'd like to get it. And Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't been available a lot. You're acting, though, as though Justin Fields never got hurt. He has in his collegiate career. But there's no such thing really as winning a Super Bowl with a rookie. Now, and I think when I look at the San Francisco roster, I think, yeah, that's a Super Bowl contender. Can they win it with Jimmy G? Well, again, when last healthy, when the roster was healthy, when Jimmy G was healthy, they were in the Super Bowl. And if he hits Emmanuel Sanders, they win the Super Bowl. One pass away. So I'm going to say yes. Yes, the Niners are live to win the whole thing with Jimmy G this year. Are they live to win the whole thing with Justin Fields this year? Because I agree with you, Stephen A. Justin Fields should be no worse than the third quarterback taken. I would take Justin Fields clearly in this draft if I had the third pick. But what you do is you play him behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's take the most impossibly great talent we've ever seen who hit the ground running amazing, Patrick Mahomes. He didn't play his first year. He started one game. Then the second year, I thought he was the best player in football. He won the MVP. Came very close, I thought, to winning the Super Bowl. Pre-snap penalty gave Tom Brady the ball back. In overtime, Patrick Mahomes never got to touch it. And then Brady beat a Rams team who I believe Mahomes would have beaten. That's very, very close. But even that wasn't a rookie. Even Patrick Mahomes didn't win the Super Bowl, though he might have. And even he was a second-year player who watched Alex Smith and learned from him. So I would say the Niners have the right idea. If their idea is you keep Jimmy G where he is, you make a run at the Super Bowl this year, you draft his successor, have him learning. If Jimmy G goes down, then the development starts early. If he doesn't, then the next guy takes over. I would think it should be Justin Fields, although we're hearing Mac Jones. He takes over next year.
Well, I got to be honest with you. It's not the ideal way to start off the show by saying this, but this conversation bores me. And the reason why it bores me is because of Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy to be exact. It bores me, okay? The bottom line is this. He can't be trusted to be healthy. We all know that he can play. We know that he's no scrub, but he's not one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Matter of fact, I've religiously pointed out how you had to go through 4 levels before you even got to him, and he was the quarterback of the team. This dude threw for a combined 208 yards in 2 postseason games the year they got to the Super Bowl and then had a 10-point lead and then couldn't hold on to it, couldn't stop the bleeding. And so I just look at it from that perspective, and I just say to myself, you know what, Kyle Shanahan's going to make this pick. I'm more interested in talking about whether it should be Mac Jones or Justin Fields or Trey Lance as opposed to, Jimmy G staying there. We all know that Jimmy G is not going to be there. Think about what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch has done. John Lynch is the general manager and has basically stepped back and said, this is going to be Kyle Shanahan's pick. This dude has been the offensive play caller for the team. Okay, he knows what he's doing at the quarterback position. We're going to defer to him. And they moved up and gave up first-round picks to move up to the number 3 overall pick in this year's draft. You don't do that to keep Jimmy G. You do that because you're planning on moving on from Jimmy G. And then he had the press conference and said, hey, tomorrow's not guaranteed. None of us might be here tomorrow. That's your argument?
Actually, so they might not be alive.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, my
goodness.
gosh.
No, that is my argument. Because, look, they might get rid of Jimmy G, but it depends if they think they can make a Super Bowl
What if
run
he's
this
in
year.
New England? What if he gets reunited with Bill
all of that,
Belichick? Would
Max.
that make you happy?
You're
And
not
he could
doing all of
redeem
that.
himself with the
You're
Patriots?
not doing all of that to keep Jimmy G. You're not doing all of that to keep Jimmy G. You're not.
Not long term, but you could. Listen, they did all that to grab Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, right?
If you're Jimmy
and
G,
yet
do
they
you want to
kept
be there?
Alex Smith for an extra year.
If you're Jimmy G, do you want to be there right now? After all they did to move up to draft your successor, do you want to be there right now if you're Jimmy G?
I don't know. Look at Aaron Rodgers' situation. He's still
Well,
where
he
he
wants
is.
out. They just don't. They won't let him go.
By the way, it's funny you bring up Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy G and Aaron Rodgers, whatever discontent they may have with their teams, are in positions to win Super Bowls this year.
Don't even belong in the same sentence. Don't you ever mention porn star Jimmy in the same breath as Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
They're both on excellent
Let's settle
teams.
down.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.